And from there, we had an exclusive. This was really, really fun, something that I got to do with somebody that I really admire. This is Bob Birches. He's the VP for product marketing worldwide for all Apple products. We had a great sit down and talk there. Apple's journey with tech and innovation, Apple Silicon, advancement in gaming, what happens to consumer feedback when they get it. But the biggest question I asked him was, at some point, Bob had said that the first iPhone was just okay, not great. That's what I started with. So Bob, welcome to India, even though this is not your first one. You're a veteran, I should ask you, places to meet, to go to, people to meet, food to eat. But what I'm really excited is that you've come in here, you meet with a lot of content creators. We're seeing this incredible flurry of colors, which is all shot on an iPhone, which is just marvelous to see this. The fact that you were involved with the first iPhone, the fact that the energy and the vibe at that time in Apple must have been dramatically different from the company it is today, right? I mean, it was almost like a startup culture at that time, right? Can you just take us through, in a way, maybe in a few sentences, what it felt like?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for the warm welcome, and I'll look for tips from you. I'm sure you'll have plenty for me.
Absolutely.
And the thing I'd say is that you mentioned that the vibe or the culture must feel different then from now. And actually it doesn't.
Really?
And that is the magic of Apple, is that passion for creating new products, for exciting customers, for putting tools in the hands of creators everywhere. And that's one of the things I think that makes Apple such a special, special place. It also makes it the place where you could give rise to a product such as the iPhone. If you remember, we started out with, it's going to be a revolutionary phone, the best iPod we ever created, and put the internet in your pocket.
Right.
The internet in your pocket was the thing that has made this such a revolutionary technology in time. But at the end of the day, what fuels us at Apple is the same thing that fueled us then, is making amazing products that live at this intersection of creativity and technology.
And speaking of creativity, I think another great revolution has been Apple Silicon. In literally every product that you actually introduce, and then you take it to the next level, because now this is your own creation. I think you can take your imagination to wherever you want. So 3 or 4 things that it's made available to you that wasn't there before.
Yeah. Well, I think you hit on the core of it, is it allows us to do things we never thought we could. It puts in our hands the engine that drives every one of our products and lets us determine where we want to take it. And at the end of the day, we are a company that builds products for consumers. We want to put things in the hands of consumers that delight them. And by being able to start from the very kind of core of the product, from the silicon that's going to power it, and be able to build up around it, we can do extraordinary things. I think of the 24-inch iMac. Impossibly thin, we could never have created that product without Apple Silicon. If you think about the battery life in the MacBook Pro, and the fact that pros can now have their mobile studio with them operating for 20 hours a day and be able to do things out on the road or in a location or at a festival, that's what Apple Silicon allows us to do.
Now you have more power than maybe all the others put together that are doing gaming. Can we expect Apple to become a big player there?
Absolutely. Gaming is what our customers want to do in a variety of ways and shapes and forms, from casual gaming to AAA gaming to everything else in between. And one thing I think that, we're excited to go and tell game developers, or to remind them, is that with Apple Silicon now, from iPhone all the way to Mac, they've got a single target that they can think about going after. The code base can be the same, and they're able to address billions of devices.
When you come into India, do you meet up with a lot of creators, people that do this, people that are just casually doing this all the time? And what does that tell you? Because this is where you may be seeing things that even you did not think your phones were capable of. Does that go back as feedback? Does that come out as the next product, something within that?
We have a culture of very much wanting to challenge what we think is possible and move beyond that. And that's something that we do with every single one of our products and technologies. And that's why it's critical that we come to some of the most creative, innovative places like India and listen and learn. And we absolutely take those back to Cupertino and work with that as kind of the inspiration for what we're doing. And with these photographs, for example, seeing them in still life is amazing. But what we also want to see is in video form. And these are taken in 100th of a second very quickly, so they capture that activity. But video has been very, historically it's been challenging because you're jumping around, and especially in a festival like this, you're getting, probably getting hit back and forth. One of the great things about Apple Silicon and what we've been able to do this year is to bring out action mode, which would stabilize these images and create this amazing opportunity to capture these images. And in fact, this photographer is going back next week with iPhone 14 and action mode, is going to be able to take advantage of it.
Thank you so much for speaking with us, and it's been wonderful having you.
Thank you so much. Absolutely.